Hello, YouTube friends. For those of you that are new here, my name is Kat Meffan. Thank you so much for joining me for today's handstand flow. So this practice is going to sit kind of in that intermediate kind of space. Obviously, you can still very much have a deep asana practice, but be really fearful of handstands and inversions. So try not to kind of assume that wherever you're at in your journey means you can or can't do this practice, if that makes sense. This practice, this flow, is going to be all about having a little bit of fun and being playful. It's going to be pretty powerful and dynamic. We're going to be popping our legs up in the air, but it doesn't matter how far those legs get. They could come this far off the floor and you still did a handstand flow. So make sure you get yourself comfortable. Make sure you've got a bit of space around you as well, that you're not going to be kind of kicking anything as you kick up to your handstand. And if you enjoy this practice, then please do come and join me over on the Soul Sanctuary. The Soul Sanctuary is a monthly membership, so it's just $14.99 a month, or if you pay annually, you get it for $11.66 per month, which is a bit of a no-brainer. And it is yoga, free movement, meditation, community, breath work, yoga philosophy. It is a little bit of everything. And you also get first dibs on spaces to my retreats, which usually sell out extremely quickly. So really, really grateful to anybody that comes and supports me over on the Soul Sanctuary. I know that you just won't regret it. It's a really special place to be. So now that that little promotion is done, let's get into our practice. And we're just going to start here today grounding into our seat. So get yourself into a cross-leg position and we'll get going. So from here, just taking a big shoulder roll, going back and closing down your eyes. Bring your palms face down onto your knees. And just start to check in with the breath. Now, the reason for our hands being face down on our knees today is this grounding gesture, this looking in. So it's wonderful to surrender to everything else, but today when we are going to be taking flight, possibly even challenging our levels of fear, it's really important that we take these first few moments of the practice to arrive into our body, our breath, and our emotions. And I'm really hoping that this practice has the power to just shift any unwanted fear, any unwanted anxious energy into something more playful, into something lighter. Just because you think you cannot handstand, that does not mean it's the case. Remember that you're standing on your hands the moment that you jump your feet off the floor. So every bunny hop is a handstand. So sit with that through the practice and be proud of wherever you get to in this practice today. Maybe you want to set yourself a little intention, maybe a mantra for the practice. What could you offer to yourself in the space today? And then dropping chin down to chest. Just taking a couple of little half neck rolls, so going in each direction. Maybe pausing on any points that feel a little more niggly than others. And then chin down to the chest, interlace the hands behind the head, draw the forearms down towards the chest as you round the spine here. And then as you breathe, you feel the breath opening and expanding into the back body. And then gently starting to lift the chest, find that neutral position, and then draw the elbows back. Maybe you just want to shine the heart forwards and upwards a little bit. This isn't a big deep back bend, but just a nice way to open here. Release the hands down, right hand comes all the way down, and then left arm sweeps up and over. Just opening through the side body. Pivoting that chest up towards the sky. And then swooping the body all the way down through center and taking it up and over to the other side. Again, pivoting the chest up towards the sky. And then sweeping it again down through center, holding at that center point. Take an inhale, shine the heart forwards, and then exhale as you round. Coming all the way back to neutral, you're going to reach your hands out in front of you and you're going to make fists and then flick the fingers away, almost like you're flicking water at me. And close your eyes and just breathe it in. Just feeling into those forearms. The forearms are probably going to activate pretty quickly here. And this is where a lot of our handstand strength is held, in those forearms. And release. Woo! Rolling over onto all fours. And let's just pad around into the wrists. So spending a bit of time here, checking in with the wrists. How does this feel today? You can bring the backs of the hands down. You can bring the fingertips in towards you. You can shift side to side, forwards and backwards. And then coming to sit back down on the heels, interlace the hands and just move those hands around in circles. And then try to go the other way. This one always really throws me off, trying to go the other way. Okay, you can just bring the knees together so you're in this kneeling position. You're going to inhale, the arms come all the way up. Exhale, they reach behind you. Now you'll try your best here to not let the ribs flare out. You want to try and keep as still and steady in the whole body as possible, and it's just the arms that move. So inhale, exhale, inhale up, exhale down. 3 more. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Last one. Inhale up, exhale down. Beautiful. Now reach those hands forward, tuck under the toes and make your way to a downward facing dog. So as we know, or maybe you don't know, that was a very big assumption of mine, the more mobile you are in your whole body, the easier you will find inversions. And this is for the very basic and potentially obvious reason that if we can get our legs into some kind of split position, then we'll find it a lot easier to kick up because we can allow the shoulders to be above the wrists, we can get the hips up a little higher, and then we can kick. And then if you've got your legs in a split, then you may even find that you can use that split to help you with the balance when you are upside down. So just working here in your downward facing dog, really bending into each leg one at a time, feeling into the hamstrings and the calves, lengthening through the spine and really just feeling into the hands and the fingers here. Now, just look to the hands, and this will bring your downward facing dog out of its natural alignment. Just look to the hands. Now, see if you can just make your index finger face forwards. Really ground down through the index finger and the thumb, and really push through the hands. Maybe you even make these little spider hands down here in your sort of semi-downward facing dog. Don't worry too much about the shape of this downward facing dog. I just want you to be focusing on the hands right now. And then just push it back. And starting to walk the feet all the way in. Take an inhale, lift and lengthen, come to fingertips. And then exhale as you fold. Take hold of opposite elbows and gently just sway side to side here. Allow the head to hang heavy. Releasing tension through the head, through the neck. Now release the hands. Just place the hands down in front of you. Doesn't matter, we're not going anywhere, but I want you just to have a little look here Again, at your hands want to be underneath the shoulders. A lot of the time we go into handstand and we take the hands a little bit too wide. So you want to ideally have the hands underneath the shoulders, and again, just come back to that finger positioning with the index finger facing forwards. And from here, even with your knees bent, you can come up onto the toes, and I just want to invite you to rock forwards and backwards onto the hands, onto the wrists. It's not easy. Breathing as you go. Your shoulders, yes, they may well come over the wrist. That is okay. One more. And then release back down to the feet. Take an inhale, come to the fingertips. Exhale the hands to the hips. And then inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Come to stand near the top of the mat. Feet together, finding Tadasana. Now we are going to work through a couple of Surya Namaskar A's, just to get ourselves again into that flow. Now, I am going to cue in this flow, because it is for handstands, quite a few handstand options. You do not have to take every one, but I'm going to put them in and you can just see what you want. That handstand, by the way, can be a kick up, it can be a bunny hop, it can be a tuck up, it can be pike, it can be straddle, it can be whatever you want it to be. So grounding down into these feet, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, create space. Exhale, place the hand, option for a handstand. And then taking it back to your plank position, flowing down either through chaturanga or down to the knees. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. So that's kind of where we're going to be, is just popping in like a one breath handstand as we transition for these sun A's. Breathing here in your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, wave the body forwards, find high plank. Bring the feet together, squeeze the glutes. So squeezing your glutes is key in your handstand. So squeezing the glutes here, finding that beautiful long line of energy. And then wave it back, downward facing dog. Step the feet in about a foot's distance, take 3 bunny hops or all the way up to handstand, and then on your final one, you'll step your feet to the front of the mat. When you're ready, we'll go for 1, and for 2, and for 3, landing at the top of the mat. Take an inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky, and then exhale those hands down through heart center. Take a breath here. And then we're going to go through 2 more Surya Namaskar A's with a few little bits added on. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, create space. And then exhale, place the hands, either a step or a jump, all the way up to your handstand, and then coming down through your chaturanga. Vinyasa your way through chaturanga, upward facing dog, into downward facing dog. This time, ground down through the left foot. Open that right leg all the way up to the sky. Open the hip. And then create some circles with this right leg. So the right knee is bent, and you're just going to create some circles into the hip here. And then you're going to step that right foot through between the hands. Drop the back knee down. Find low lunge. Inhale, bring those hips forwards. Exhale, hips come back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale, coming forwards. You can have 2 blocks down by the side of you if you need to. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, back. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, back. Inhaling forwards now. Tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee. Left hand down, right arm up to the sky, easy twist. Take a breath here, lengthen all the way up to the sky. And then place that right hand down. Now either step back to downward facing dog and then lift your left leg, or we're going to take a couple of little switch kicks here. So you'll kick up left to the sky, and then the left one comes down in place of the right. And then you'll do the exact same again, landing back in that lunge position, then step all the way back downward facing dog. Left leg sweeps up to the sky, so we're all together here. Open the hip, and then circling that hip a few times. Stepping left foot through between the hands, drop the back knee down. Option to have the hands to blocks. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half split, flexing that left foot. Inhale, coming forwards. Exhale, taking it back. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, back. 2 more. Inhale, coming forwards. Exhale, back. Last one. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, bring it back. Then shift the weight forwards to the lunge again. Tuck under the back toes, lift the back knee. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Easy twist. Breathing here, lengthening. Left fingertips all the way up to the sky. And then that left hand comes down next to the left foot. And we take those 2 switch kick handstands, if that feels good for you. If not, you step it straight back to your downward facing dog. Amazing. Well done. Take a releasing breath and let it go. At any point you need a little child's pose, know that that is your best friend. It is there for you whenever you need it. Okay, taking an inhale, step or float the feet to the hands, lift the chest, find space. Exhale and fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to the sky. And then exhale those hands down through heart center. Again, find your Tadasana. Take a little breath here. And we go one more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find that space. Exhale, place the hands, either step or take that little kick to handstand. And then bringing it down through Chaturanga, down to the knees, or finding upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches up to the sky again, open the hip. Find those hip circles again through the right leg. And then step that right foot outside of the right foot, step the right foot outside of the right hand. Oh my gosh, she's lost her words. Drop the back knee down. Find lizard this time. And you can stay up on the hands, close the eyes, and just shift side to side. Taking a nice big releasing breath. And then tuck under the left foot, lift the back knee. And then you're going to step it back to the downward facing dog. You're going to take an inhale up onto the toes here. Exhale, bend through the knees. You're going to launch off your feet, come through a little handstand and land in Malasana at the top of the mat. Oh yeah, taking a little breath here, shifting through those hips side to side. And you can keep your hands down, just have a little look if you're unsure. You can just see that I'm moving. Really about finding that dynamic fluidity in this practice. Now again, on this time, you're going to take from your Malasana a little hop, could be a bunny hop, could come all the way to handstand, and then you're going to come through a vinyasa. Okay, so I don't mind how it looks. Take a little hop, and then taking your vinyasa, landing back in the downward facing dog. Well done. Sweeping left leg up to the sky. Open the hip, finding those circles. And then that left foot steps to the outside of the left hand. I think I said left last time and I should have said right. Apologies. Drop the back knee down, or I might be going completely mad and I got it right. Drop that back knee down, shifting side to side. I like to leave in all of these wonderful mistakes that I make. The reminder that I too am only human. Breathing here into the hips. And then tucking under back toes, lifting the back knee. Step it all the way back to that downward facing dog. Just like we did last time, inhale up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Find that little launch pad from your downward facing dog. You can kind of bounce here a little bit. And then we launch ourselves forwards and land in a Malasana at the top of the mat. This time, if your heels are down, you can just lift the chest, bring their palms together, or you can take the backs of the hands together and give your wrists a little bit of love because they've been working super hard. Sometimes that's a really nice variation just to take a pause in the flow. Breathing here. Okay, releasing those hands down. We are going to do exactly the same as we did before. So through your Malasana, either you can just step back and take a vinyasa if you're like, I am done with these jumps to handstand. Or from your Malasana, you're going to take a straddle up to handstand. So a little jump, straddle the legs wide up to handstand, and then step one down at a time and go through your vinyasa. Everyone meeting back in a child's pose when you're ready. Grounding down through those hands. We go through the downward facing dog and then drop the knees down, find a child's pose. Bring the hands together and then just rest the hands onto the back of the head so that you get this extra little addition of a stretch into the triceps. And close down the eyes, just reconnect to the breath. And then gently, we'll just finish that Surya Namaskar A. Not that it was really a Surya Namaskar A. Take it back through your downward facing dog. Step the feet in 1 foot's distance. 3 bunny hops to the top of the mat. You've got this. If they want to go all the way up to handstand, let them. 3 times. And then landing at the top of your mat and just hanging down there in a forward fold. Taking hold of opposite elbows. Taking a breath, a little sway side to side in your ragdoll. And then maybe a releasing breath. Releasing the hands down. Take an inhale, lengthen through the chest. Exhale, fold. And then peeling the body all the way up to standing, letting the head coming last. So step open, right foot all the way open, find goddess. So from here, we've got our toes going to the corners of the mat. We sit down into that goddess, activate those glutes, because like I said, the glutes are a super crucial part of your handstand and actually something that we don't always think to activate. But as we get more confident being upside down, we can start to retrain that into us. So let's just take arms up to the sky and let's have some little bounces here, some little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Come all the way to standing. Pivot those feet to Prasarita Padottanasana. Maybe just step back slightly so you're at the back line of your mat. Hands to hips, take an inhale. Exhale as you fold. Take the hands down, take an inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Now place your hands down. You may decide that you'd like to take your feet onto blocks for this next little one. We're going to be just playing around with our press to handstand. It may not be available to you. So the blocks mean that we have, with our feet being a little bit higher, it means that our hips get a little bit higher. But obviously, the feet being on blocks and the hands being down does require the hamstrings to be super open. So it may not be there for you. It may not be available, and that's absolutely fine. You can do this without the blocks, and you can just do the weight shift that we first started with. So ideally, you want to bring the hands as close to the feet as you can, because that then means that your hips are right up over the shoulders, and you come up onto the toes, shift the weight into the hands, and just find that clasp of the floor and release it down. So you're going to go for that 5 times. Up onto the toes, press into the hands, release it down. 3 more. Press down and release. This whole time, as you lift up onto the toes and you ground into the hands, you want to round the spine. Release it down. Last one. And release. Just come down, take a moment, and just move those wrists. Give them a little bit of a circle, going in both directions. So now that you've done that once, you may think, okay, the blocks are for me, maybe they're not. Now, I did say to you that no matter what in this practice, there will be something for you to try. So if this is completely outside of where you're at right now, you can remove the blocks, and I would love for you, just from a wide leg position, bend the knees, get the legs wide, and drop them down. And it can be a little like that. Just hop the feet off, bring them down. Maybe, if you're able to, you can bring the legs up a little bit higher. Maybe you push down through the hands and you bring them all the way up to the sky and back down. So have a little play around. Those of you working on your press, if you have a wall and you would like to try your press at the wall, that's a really nice one to do. It does require some trust that the wall isn't going anywhere. So you want to be potentially about, well, your distance away from the wall is going to really depend on your strength ability. The closer you are to the wall, the harder it's going to be. The further you are away, you'll have more to lean on, but you have to trust that the wall's not going anywhere. And those of you that just want to try it free on the floor, you can use your blocks. You can also work your puppy press. So we're going to come wherever you are, wherever you want to be, and you'll try to either jump up or press your way up. So taking a few moments just to have a play around with that. Whatever you do, keep breathing. If you are pretty solid in your handstand, you can play around with different shapes when you get into your handstand. And try not to fall out of it like I did. Try to come down nicely if you can. I'm going to give you just a couple more moments to just take any other variation that you want to take. And then we're just going to bring it down to a child's pose again. So coming down to the wide leg position if you're already done. And reach those hands out. You can just lift the arms off. And again, just take circles with the wrists here. But in your child's pose, you can place the backs of the hands together. Get a little stretch out here. Maybe taking a big releasing breath. And then slowly coming all the way up, knees together, interlace the hands behind the back, draw the arms down, lift the chest, shining that heart forwards. And then from here, coming into rabbit, but keeping the arms as they are. So the crown of the head comes down and the arms drop over. I can't quite get my head down because of my clip, but you get the idea. So the crown of your head is down, your bum is lifted, and the arms are dropping over the head. And then edging yourself away. So from here, we are going to take our final little bit. I am very sweaty right now, so I hope that you are joining me here. Okay, so your hands are going to come down either side of your knees. Again, this may not be one for you, so I'm going to show you a modified variation. So here is going to be, and this is really great for the positioning and the activation that needs to happen in the body when you're in handstand, and this is kind of getting you there right at the start. So from here, you are going to jump from this position like this into a little tucked handstand and come back down. Does require to kind of almost push off slightly from the top of the feet, so just be mindful of how that feels. So you'll see here, it's going to happen in 2 phases. I'm going to ground down through the arms, I'm going to round my spine, and I'm going to shift the weight into the hands, and then I just take a little kick up and come straight back down. I'm going to do 5 of those, so let me show you again. So I ground into the hands, round the spine, shoulders forwards, handstand, okay? And maybe you start to hold it. Those of you not quite feeling for that yet, you are going to come down into a little crouched position from here and do a similar thing. So you can push down through the hands, you can get a little bit of a rounding through the spine, and then you just come into little tucks. Okay, so maybe you don't quite go into full handstand, doesn't matter, you're still standing on your hands, something to be very proud of. Kicking up. So wherever you are, 5 of those, while I just take a moment. And when you're done with your 5, you will make your way into a downward facing dog. So I'm guessing you're probably at that point now. Take an inhale, wave the body through plank, and then bring yourself through your final vinyasa. Inhaling, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then making your way down to seated however you wish. If you want to do something fancy through a handstand, you absolutely can. If you are spent and you are like, I just want to lay down, then be my guest. Feet about hip width apart, reach those arms out. And then slowly start to release yourself down to your spine. Reach the arms all the way out to the side if you have space, and just allow the legs to rock side to side. And then from here, bringing those knees up, feet parallel, left ankle on top of the right knee. And rather than grabbing anything, all I want you to do is actively open through that left hip. So you will, I'm sure, feel a sensation into the IT band, into that left hip, maybe the glute as you open here. Just leaving your arms to rest. Your arms have done enough. And then keeping that leg position, you're going to drop the legs over to the right side. So the sole of the left foot comes down, plants down to the earth. Head now goes over to the left. And again, you just focus on opening into that left hip. You can close your eyes here. Maybe even that mantra or your intention floats back into your body, into your mind. You just allow yourself to breathe it in. And then releasing, coming back through center, switching sides. So the right ankle goes onto the left knee. And just to begin with, just keeping that opening through that right hip. Keeping the arms exactly where they are. You do not need to be pulling anything anywhere. And then dropping those legs over to the left side. Head goes over to the right this time, but we still keep that opening through the right hip. breath here. And then edging those knees, unraveling them, drawing the knees into center. You're going to take either the two peace fingers around the big toes or to the outside edge of the feet. Open yourself up for a happy baby. You can do this with bent legs today, or if you're pretty open in the hips, you can take it into a straight-legged variation. You can still find that little rock side to side. Remembering that the ability to get into your handstands can be really helped by flexibility and mobility. So we'll just spend a few breaths here, breathing into the hip space. And then when you're ready, just hugging those knees into the chest, take a final little rock side to side. And then spending a couple of moments finding a Shavasana, whichever variation feels good for you. You can place the knees over a bolster. You can have the feet out long, making sure that your eyes are closed and that you really take some time here to smile to yourself. Find that sense of playfulness and pride for your body. So showing up in this practice today, maybe you had no idea what to expect here and you surprised yourself. Maybe you felt like you weren't as good as you have been in the past, but how can we just reframe that? Why do we have to label everything with good and bad and positive and negative? Can't it just be an experience? Another journey towards your handstand practice. If you feel ready to, you can start to bring some movement back into the fingers, the toes, wiggling, circling them, maybe taking a big stretch overhead, finding a yawn. And in your own time, no need to rush. You'll roll over to one side and gently make your way up to a comfortable seated position. But like I said, no rush. Take all the time that you need. And when you do bring yourself up to that comfortable seated position, place one hand on top of the other over the heart space. Again, can you check in with that gratitude for yourself, for showing up here today, for the community of beautiful souls out there also doing this practice with you. Though you can't see them, they are dotted all around the world in different time zones. That beautiful knowing that we practice together. There is a shared energy here in this space, even in the online world. Let's seal our practice with a big releasing breath. Take an inhale and let it go. Thank you. Thank you so much, my YouTube family. I am very honored that you did that practice with me. I hope you loved it. please do leave a comment. Please do give it a thumbs up. Helps share the love. If you know somebody else that would love this practice, then of course share it with them. And if you have enjoyed flowing with me, then please do come and support the Soul Sanctuary, because there is so much more of this good stuff where that is. Where that is, does that make sense? We'll leave it in there. Come and join the Soul Sanctuary. The link is in the description below, and I look forward to practicing with you over there very soon. Bye-bye.